Hello, my movie peeps. Thank you so much for clicking on an episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. Little sad right now, guys. This is gonna be the last Side Flick with the spooky setting, man. We had so much fun this year. Let's reminisce back on those glorious times we had. Always get a little sad when Halloween ends, so I hope everyone is gonna have a great Halloween coming up now. But for now, we got some movie news to discuss, y'all. Some of the stuff we're gonna be talking about here is catching up on the movie news that's been happening from the week. One here, Marvel looking to give a Disney Plus series to White Vision. We got some updates concerning Venom 3, even some updates on Henry Cavill as Superman, cause things are moving fast with this boy. That along with so much more, so I'm gonna need you guys give me your opinions down below with everything we discuss here today, but let's just go ahead and dive right into it. And well, since this looks to be the last spooky side flick of the season, we gotta throw in some sort of horror movie news story in here, and luckily, one interesting one did pop up. Player Discussing here has it reported that Clown in a Cornfield, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil director adapting Adam Caesar's slasher novel. Now, I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with Clown in a Cornfield. It's a relatively new horror book, and it's even one I've picked up. So I was actually one of the nerds kind of excited to hear that this was going to get turned into a movie, because it's a pretty fun book. At least the 100 pages so far that I've read from it, even though I bought this book 6 months ago. Yeah, I'm very bad at finishing books, guys. But the book essentially follows this teenage girl who moves to a small town with her father, and then slowly starts to uncover secrets about this clown mascot that used to be part of a factory that is now abandoned in the small town. And look, this could really go one of two ways. For one, if you get a clown horror movie made and it actually resonates with people and gets some sort of traction, you've hit gold. Now, on the other flip side about that, this is branded as a young adult novel, and we have seen countless young adult novels try and strive for that stardom fame that like Hunger Games or Harry Potter have reached for, only to kind of fail miserably and not even finish their book series. With Clown in the Cornfield, they have 2 books right now, a 3rd one on the way, so that kind of guarantees you 3 different movies on this killer clown. I'm down for it because I've liked what I've read so far, but I throw it off to you guys. You hear there's a new clown horror movie based on a couple of books. Do you think that is exciting, or are you kind of feeling clowns are a cliche in the horror genre? Moving on here to talk about the Sony universe, specifically Venom 3, we got here an update that kind of did shock me about this 3rd Venom film. It got confirmed by Deadline that Venom 3 will now be directed by Kelly Marcel, the person who actually wrote and produced the first 2 Venom movies. Now, this actually shocked me for a couple of reasons, because I thought a lot of people kind of liked what Andy Serkis did, and Andy Serkis, when he was promoting Venom Let There Be Carnage, talked like he was about to come back and make a 3rd movie and do something exciting with the world. Looks like Sony thought he didn't do a good enough job, and instead of going out and getting someone more expensive, they just thought, let's hire within the house someone that knows the world, someone that heck has even been writing in the world, and have her direct. And if you're someone who's been following my channel for a while, you know I'm not a big fan of these Venom movies. I think the first one is kind of meh, the second one is enjoyable, but that's all mainly due because Carnage is in there, and as a lifelong Spider-Man fan, we have all been dying to see Carnage on the screen, and well, I got it. With this 3rd Venom movie, unless it's Tom Hardy versus Spider-Man in some capacity, I don't see what you could be throwing into this film for me to get excited about it, especially with the director that has written the past 2 movies that I've already felt kind of meh on. That doesn't really make me more excited for what you're about to do. And heck, with the last movie teasing Toxin as a possible antagonist for Venom, it looks like we could have a 3rd Venom movie where again, the main character is fighting, yet again, another symbiote. How original. I don't mean to poop on anybody's parade. I know there's a lot of people out there that get a real kick out of these Venom movies, but for me, yeah. Hopefully I'm wrong and Venom 3 surprises me, becoming the best one out of the bunch, but what do you guys think about Venom 3 getting the writer of the previous 2 movies to now direct it? Next up here, talking about some Disney and Marvel. Earlier in the week, we were hearing rumblings and rumors that White Vision might be getting a solo project, and now that pretty much looks to be confirmed. Thanks to Deadline here mentioning that Vision series starring Paul Bettany in the works at Marvel Studios for Disney+. The details on the show currently goes as titled Vision Quest, the potential series, which is opening a writer's room next week, will be about Vision trying to regain his memories and humanity. And while the focus is on Vision, word is there is a possibility for Wanda Maximoff to appear, which would make sense given her interconnected to the two characters' stories in the MCU. And I'll be honest with you guys, my thoughts on this are a little conflicting. 2 years ago, after having watched WandaVision and really liking it, and then you would have told me right then and there, we're gonna get a solo White Vision series, oh, I would have been on board. I would have been excited. I would have been like, dang, what's that gonna look like? Intriguing character. I want to know more about him. But now those 2 years have gone by, and we've gotten Disney Plus series after Disney Plus series, character after character, getting a show, and not that I'm burnt out, but I feel like I just see the repetitive formula that Marvel is doing with these shows that leave me sometimes disappointed by the end. Like, the name of the show and the premise have me interested because I feel like that would be a good philosophical journey for Paul Bettany's Vision, rediscovering himself, and probably by the end of that series getting his color back and becoming the Vision we remember. But the possibility of Wanda Maximoff being in there, I just don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like Wanda don't even care about Vision anymore. She just care about her kids. I feel like those were some of the things that were missing in Multiverse of Madness. It's just a reminder that Wanda still has love and care for Vision, but we didn't really get that. So to me, if Wanda is part of the show, like, I'd be excited to see her because I like the Scarlet Witch character, but I think it'd just be in flashback forms as Paul Bettany's Vision is regaining his memories and maybe remembering some of the things he did with Wanda, not necessarily some stuff in present day. So look, yes, I'm definitely going to watch this series. I'm interested to see where White Vision has been all this time, but I'm skeptical. If anything, I would have rather this been one of those special presentations where it's a 1 hour, 50-minute thing to wrap it all up. Just tell the story you want in one cohesive chapter and then end it. But that's just my opinion. I throw it off to you guys. How do you feel about White Vision getting a series titled Vision Quest? And man, I am just the negative Nancy today, because now we move on to DC talk, where earlier in the week we were getting reports that the Green Lantern series is looking to be reworked. The Hollywood Reporter had it here that Greg Berlanti's Green Lantern HBO Max series being redeveloped loses writers. And if you didn't know about this Green Lantern HBO Max series that we have heard has been coming for the longest time, it was going to revolve around a bunch of different Green Lanterns, some from different periods in time. It didn't seem like a bad idea. I was up for it. I want the redemption of the Green Lantern characters. And to me, I didn't even mind that Jon Stewart wasn't even going to be part of the show, because I figured DC was trying to save him to give him his own movie. At least that's what the rumor was when Warner Brothers didn't let Zack Snyder use Green Lantern for his movie, because they had some sort of plan for him. Well, now with all these major changes happening to Warner Brothers and DC, especially with James Gunn and Peter Safran being named the heads of that studio, it looks like this show has been scrapped and instead is being reworked so it can just focus on Jon Stewart and be a show about him. Again, I have conflicting thoughts. I am still so baffled and surprised this Green Lantern nonsense that has been happening with Warner Brothers, all because of Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern movie. Let's just get it out of the way. Sure, it's a bad movie. It's not great, but it's also not the worst comic book movie ever made. There is enjoyable elements in this movie, I believe. And even if you think it's a bad movie, I don't think it is so bad that this film should warrant the complete erasing of Green Lantern in any sort of DC future media. Like, the boy is one of the main characters in your DC intro. That is so weird to me that DC has an intro for their DC characters lining up what we consider to be the main DC characters, and some of those people have yet to have a full-fledged movie. And so now flashing forward in this period in time where we're possibly finally going to get Jon Stewart as Green Lantern, but it's going to be on a show on a streaming service. Oh, that kind of sucks. I want that boy to get a movie. I think he can get a really great film, and someone can pull off an amazing Green Lantern movie. He's still one of my underrated DC characters, and I can't wait for the Green Lantern characters to get some sort of redemption on screen. But if I'm also being optimistic on that, I guess an HBO series wouldn't be bad either. HBO pumps a lot of money into these things, so it would look good. And it would also be more time you get to spend with that character, because it would be at least 6-9 episodes. That's plenty of time to flesh out a story, build out your characters, put in a great villain, have some good action sequences. Sure, that's great and all, but I just think a movie has a bigger impact on the general fan base on making these characters more mainstream. Because right now, you walk up to a 10-12-year-old kid, Ant-Man is a much more prominent character than Green Lantern, and as someone who grew up watching Justice League, That's kind of crazy. This is also so weird that this came out right when it was announced that James Gunn and Peter Safran will be taking over DC Studios, because rumor has it they haven't officially taken over yet, that they will take over starting November 1st. And in that article, it said that they will also be in charge of TV stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn knows the value of Green Lantern and goes, yeah, he can't just be a show. Let's do something else if you want a show about Green Lanterns, but let's give Jon Stewart or Hal Jordan their own movie again. I don't know. I throw it off to you guys. You hear about these updates concerning Green Lantern. Where do you fall on it? What do you want to happen? I'm curious to know. And since we're on the subject of Superman, let's get optimistic, let's get happy, let's get excited, because Superman is coming way sooner than we thought. Ever since the world found out that Superman Henry Cavill has a cameo in Black Adam, the world has been wondering, when will we see the Man of Steel again? Henry Cavill came out on Instagram and said, I'm back, and you can look forward to future projects. Even though other reports were saying that he only signed a one-off contract just for that cameo, we were kind of worried, okay, what is Superman's future? And no, it looks like we're going to get Superman much sooner. Because today it was revealed that Henry Cavill will be leaving the Witcher series for season 4 and is going to be replaced by Liam Hemsworth. Now, I'm really sorry for my Witcher fans. I'm not someone who watched the show or played the video games, but I'm sure Henry Cavill was a very enjoyable, great part of that for you guys. And to see him get replaced by Liam Hemsworth, that's gotta feel like a bit of a downgrade, but that also just goes to show you how dedicated Henry Cavill is to going back as Superman, and if he's right now quitting and leaving the show because it most likely is gonna conflict with his Superman filming schedule, we're getting this movie soon, guys. We're getting this movie like within the next 2 years then. Because I bet you if Henry Cavill could still be the Witcher, do one final season, and then jump into a Superman cape, he would do that. But it looks like that might not be possible, because when The Witcher Season 4 will be filming, Henry Cavill's new Superman movie might also be filming, and that just can't happen. So Warner Bros. And crew are actually moving forward to make sure we get this Henry Cavill Superman movie, and it wasn't just some sort of stunt so people go watch Black Adam in theaters. I also want to talk about some of these quotes of what Henry Cavill has been saying on what you can expect for his new Superman movie to be, because as of right now, it doesn't seem like they have an official story or an idea, but just like with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Black Adam, Henry Cavill is going to have a huge say into what can happen in the movie or the direction it should go in. And talking with Entertainment Tonight, he did say on what he would want his new Superman movie to be, where he says, "What I do want is hope, optimism, and joy. Those 3 things are essential to the character." I am singing my praises right now, Henry Cavill. He seems to keep repeating these same words about what he wants his new Superman movie to be. Bright, joyful, and optimistic, hopeful Superman, which is what I've kind of been dying to see on the big screen. It should be noted, when Henry Cavill is coming out saying statements like that, and fans like me are getting excited over that, there are Snyder fans who go, what are you talking about? Nothing was wrong with the Snyder version, that's just fine. And look, Henry Cavill saying this and saying that's what he wants the new Superman movies to be, I don't think is a diss on Zack Snyder's version. That's coming from someone who really loves Man of Steel. I think that movie did a lot of things right, but also Zack was headed in the route where he was going to turn Superman into a villain. That's where that whole Nightmare universe played in, where Superman was kind of taking over, had a militia, killing Batman, becoming this ruler, and almost sideman to Darkseid. It's like the new cliche that's happened with the Superman character, where people don't care about a Superman character unless he's evil. That's where people like Omni-Man, Homelander, or the Injustice version of Superman come in. For some reason, that has become the go-to cool version of Superman lately. People feel like that's the most relatable version because, oh, you know, if you had those powers, you'd be doing effed up stuff too. And as a Superman fan, that's just heartbreaking, man, because I think there is something awesome about Superman, that he has all that power in the world, but he still has to restrict himself. He still has to be a symbol of hope and joy. That is the Mount Everest of whoever becomes the new writer or director of this Superman movie, is to now make classic, hopeful, happy Superman the cool Superman over this evil Superman that people have gotten used to the past couple of years. So I'm really excited to see what they do with the future of Superman, but I throw it off to you guys. You hear Henry Cavill just quit his job because of Superman. He wants a hopeful, optimistic, joyful Superman. Does that make you excited? Or what do you think? But that is all movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.